Pokemon is the most popular series ever created. If you're a human on the planet Earth, there's a very small chance that you haven't run into Pokemon at some point in your life. But did you know if you were in the Pokemon universe, there's a non-zero chance that a Banette might try and rip your head off your shoulders. The Pokemon games are not afraid of being a little dark at times. There's plenty of oddities throughout the series that are just subtle enough to fly under the radar for most players. However, some fans took a liking to the more eerie parts of Pokemon. It's me, I'm fans. Great media and fan games have been made about the franchise, like the famous EscapeLavenderTown.exe or bootleg_Pokemon and Ash's coma theory. But like every fan base, not every fan creation is created equal. And let's be honest, talking about like good things is not really my forte. Let's just say I'm the biggest hater. So grab some water and strap in because we're gonna be looking at some of the silliest Pokemon horror games I could find. The first game on our list is Haunted Pokécave, and believe me, the gameplay is just as creative as the name. Believe it or not, even though this video is about terrible Pokemon games, this game actually managed to make me pretty scared. So scared that I didn't even want to download it in the first place. But not for the reason you think. I was scared to download this game because it pretty clearly looks like a virus, right? It's not just me. Anywho, so you're never gonna guess where this game starts. It's the Haunted Pokécave, I think. Don't quote me on that, though. But where am I? Seems I'm still at the haunted cave. Okay, never mind. I guess I was right. The game gives you a bunch of exposition about how we need to find all the Pokemon that we lost in this cave and that we need to fight some whack ghosts. I wandered around for a bit and ran into Chikorita. Surely this is gonna come in handy once I find one of those nasty ghosts to fight. Your Pokemon are scared to fight an actual ghost. You feel weak as the ghost devours your soul. Damn. After crashing, I loaded back into the game, and the beginning of the game kind of makes sense now. Now that it knows that I died. Wow, guys, it's so meta. Very Undertale core. This time while I was walking around, I found the Ghost Scope, which tells me what type of ghosts we're fighting. And it's always ghastly, by the way. It actually never changes. After finding some more Pokemans and fighting a variety of different ghost types, I ran out of Pokemon. Instead of the ghastly killing me, though, he actually just soft locked my game. So I quit and I stopped playing. But here's my guess of what the winning screen probably would have looked like if I actually beat the game. Okay, so maybe that wasn't very interesting. So let me introduce you to a new game called Poke Horror. And trust me, the gameplay is as creative as the title is. Starting the game, we load into this title screen, or I guess it's kind of a title screen. As soon as you press anything, the game just kind of unpauses and the title disappears. We immediately see a rocket ship that needs 10 Pokemon to use, and I really don't like what that implies. There's a fly, but at least there's plenty of Pokemon everywhere. Scary, freaky Pokemon even. What is this? Some sort of Poke horror? Our only form of defense is the famous Pokeball. Thankfully, we have a 100% catch rate, but we run out of them quickly and you only start with 3. Luckily for us, Pokeballs hover around everywhere just for us to grab. Kinda turning the game into a glorified running around simulator, as I like to call it. It's kind of like Call of Duty Zombies, except super unpolished and not fun even a little bit. Before writing this video, I actually kind of felt bad ripping on this game because I watched the video of the developer talking about making it. I think sometimes knowing about the person behind a fan creation makes me a little more sympathetic towards the work. Kind of makes me want to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know? But according to the person that made this game, it took about 6 days and a lot of ChatGPT, so I don't care. And if this was a passion project of his, he probably would have spent a little more time making the game make any sort of sense. Anyway, the spawn rates start to go crazy, and being completely honest, I was kind of stressed. Who knows what could happen if I get caught by one of these guys? I might have to play this game again. Nothing's worse than that. However, my impeccable gaming skills remain unmatched, and I easily shove a bunch of Pokemon into the fuel tank of this rocket, but only after I struggle to find the right button on my keyboard. Seriously though, why would they make it that enter button? I had to take my hand off of my mouse. I'm giving this one a 1 out of 10. And you know, after those heavy hitters, I wanted to take some time to notice some more niche games. Most of the games we've been playing are a little too high quality quality. You know what I mean? They have a little bit too much backbone. Haunted Pokécave ran my computer for what it's worth, and I don't know if that was its pristine graphics or the Bitcoin miner that it put on my computer, but I have a game that's gonna run beautifully. This game is called Top 7 Scary Pokemon, and I found it on Scratch.com. Number 1, Evil Pinsir. Number 2, Mr. Mime. Number 3, Evil Togepi. Number 4, Evil Gengar. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut the last couple of Pokemon out of the video because they are actually way too scary and they break the community guidelines. But don't worry, I have an equally bad game to show you. And I actually debated a lot on putting this next game in because it's really just more edgy than it is horror. And off of that description, a lot of you might actually know what I'm talking about already. And I might be a decade late, but we're gonna be talking about Pokemon Black and Blue, baby. It's coming back. It's back. It's back. Run. Hide. We start the game on PETA's website with a lovely depiction of Pikachu and the Unova starters. As battling Pokemon grew in popularity, generations of children were growing up believing that Pokemon exist for no other reason than to be used and abused by Pokemon. Yeah, I think I might have mistyped. Now, I've only heard about this game in passing. I've never actually seen anything about it. I think I was a little too young to be on the hate train whenever this came out, and I'm not sure if PETA actually believes this is what the Pokemon games are about, or if it's just like a vehicle to drive their message. But either way, why did they skin Oshawott? We start the game as Pikachu, who's currently rebelling against his drunk trainer by doing a sick Rotom impression that's covered by the text. I also realized that there's 2 PETA type moves that well, that didn't do much. After spamming Thundershock a couple more times, I eventually got to give my trainer a talking to. Get informed, Sharon. Sharon then gives us a Tepig, who I named Jim. Me and Jim go on a walk and meet up with Nurse Joy. Also, I don't know if this is supposed to be like an alternate universe or if it's supposed to just be the future, but either way, why is there so much gore everywhere? There's gore in the trees, there's blood on Nurse Joy, which kind of makes sense, I guess. But why is there blood on the shrubberies? Come on, man, not the shrubberies. Nurse Joy offers us a chest that I skip over because I don't care, and then we meet up with Professor Juniper. Juniper is missing a sock and a shoe, which leads Jim to explode Professor Juniper very hard. And then we're given Snivy, who I named Richard. We keep walking and a Mudkip tries to give me a wallpaper for some reason, and then Snorlax shows up and blocks the path, but it was just a bit. This game's so creative. And then we have to fight Getsus, who makes lay epic black and white references. Unfortunately, he hand over skinned Oshawott, who I don't really like, so I'm gonna name him Richard's friend. And you might be wondering why I'm not talking about the combat at all, and that's because there really isn't much to talk about. I don't know if they even tried putting any effort into this because it's just terrible. All the moves do almost no damage, so I just kind of keep spamming the same thing over and over. I guess if I used the PETA type moves, I would probably have a better time, but that's pink, and I don't like that color. Next, we fight Ash, who is like a Pokemon ringmaster or something. I see why this pissed off a lot of Pokemon fans at the time, because the whole anime is like the antithesis of this message. Ash's whole deal is that he wants to make friends with all the Pokemon. Anyway, Richard's friend uses Recruit over and over, and I assume that this is supposed to be more skinned Oshawotts jumping Ash, which is pretty funny. But in the end, everyone's like, I guess the Pokemon have rights now. I guess, sure. And then the Pokemon celebrate. If this wasn't... That scared the shit out of me. Okay, my light is set back up. If this wasn't PETA trying to flex their good boy points and show off their fundamental misunderstanding of the Pokemon franchise, then I would say this is actually a pretty funny, ironic game. But there's just one issue. It's not ironic. So this one is going in F tier. And there was a couple of games that I was gonna include in this video, but they were just so boring. Either the game wasn't bad enough for me to make fun of it, or it just wasn't interesting enough for me to make any type of point. But on the bright side, I guess there's not that many bad Pokemon games or horror Pokemon games. So I guess that's the end of the video. Bye.